Well, good evening from the Volunteers, the number one ranked team in college basketball. Welcome to the locker room. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. Been good.
Glad to be here.
Hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Haven't seen you in a while.
We've been
Little,
going different directions.
weather's really nice out, and reminds me of my Green Bay days.
Now, could you repeat that again? The weather's what?
Oh, it's sort of nice out. It's
You come in here
what
bundled
is it here?
up.
20?
You come
20
up here.
here?
You come in here bundled up
What?
like a bear.
Is it 20 here?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
You know,
but
I looked
it's
at-
cold. Well, I
looked-
wonder what the temperature. What's the temperature in Green Bay? If you
Minus
know?
43 feels like.
Jesus,
Minus.
Lord have mercy.
Went 45 days without it ever getting above zero.
Golly. So what does? Now, I don't know nothing about what I'm fixing,
Okay.
but does the wind blow up there like
Oh,
it
yeah.
blows here? You
Yeah.
still have a big wind.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you got a big wind and everything. See,
My
that's
job-
what I think makes it so bad.
My job was at 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up and check the driveway to see if the snow drifts had blocked you in. Snow drifts come over your car
Wow.
coming off the bay.
What does it snow? I mean, you have snow pretty much all winter up there. I mean,
Have snow from November till April.
November to April.
No high school baseball.
They don't play high school baseball up there.
All you play is American Legion.
Play just the summer league
Summer
stuff.
leagues, but
you don't play no high school.
But it's,
Wow, I didn't know that neither.
it's-
I've learned something tonight.
And my wife said, well, you couldn't go outside. I said, well, if you didn't go outside, you stayed in for 6 months because that's about what you had. You do go outside, and you just learn to live.
Do you learn to? Is that why? That's going to be why I said. Do you just learn to cope
yeah.
with it? I mean,
And I think actually your blood adjusts. I think your blood gets
get
thicker
just to it.
because the second year wasn't near as bad as the first. But yeah, you go out and play hockey and ice skate,
Yeah, well,
snow
hockey's big
ski,
up there.
and
Let me ask you: does people panic as much driving up there, or are they just?
no, because the roads, are for the most part clear. The biggest thing you get into up there is snowbanks, where they've pushed all the snow up against the side of the road, and
Yeah, well, but when
I-
you see
I
when you see those places like you're talking about, they got big trucks pushing snow where we got
Oh,
little
yeah.
bitty
Oh, yeah.
trucks
I mean,
pushing snow around.
But
we
I
got
missed-
miniature trucks
I
around
missed
here.
a half a day of school in 4 years, and it was because the heat went out, not because of the weather.
I tell this story a lot of times, and a long time ago we used to have to go at the police department. We'd have to go pick the school superintendent up and drive him around town if it was bad weather. And I told this story the other day to somebody that I watched him come. He lived up on a hill. We couldn't get to him. We had chains on patrol car, but we couldn't get up there to him, so he had to walk to us.
Wow.
I watched him fall and slide down a little bit and then get in the car with him. And he's a big old tall guy. And I took him all around town. He asked me my opinion. What do you think, David? And I said, I'd call it off today. Probably had maybe 6 inches of snow, probably. It was bad. He said, tell him 1 hour late. We did 1 hour late. He never would. He didn't want to cancel school.
Well,
We canceled school yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had asphalt.
And today.
And we had school today.
See,
but
we didn't have school.
but
and it's supposed to be colder in the morning than it was this morning.
in my superintendent's defense, it is a hard call to make
It is.
because
It
you have to decide: are the weather people
Well,
right
you're not gonna
or are
win,
they wrong?
right? You're not gonna
no,
win
either
either way.
You're going to lose either way. If we'd have had school yesterday and it had snowed, wow, then we've got them there. Now we're going to have to send them home. So
Well, and
I
the
guess
biggest-
you just play on the safe side.
And the biggest reason that you catch flack is because you're babysitting.
yeah,
in a lot of cases.
Yeah, the daycare stuff really comes in. You got to really make.
You cancel school.
You got to
And
make.
what am I going to do with my kids?
Yeah, it's a toss up. So I'd say us err on the side of caution. And
Yeah.
you got so many
Well,
days, burn one of them. And
You remember the Ice Bowl
Yes.
in Green Bay?
I don't know too much about it, but I remember hearing about it.
Funny story. We were down in
That's
Florida
Bart
this
Starr
week.
and them, right?
We were down in Florida this week and having dinner with some friends and they had a couple there, and he said, I understand you lived in Green Bay. I said, yes, sir. He said, Ice Bowl? I said, yes, sir. I froze to death, but yes, sir, there. He said, I played football at Marquette. Now, I didn't realize that Marquette had ever had, I didn't know when they quit playing football at Marquette.
I didn't know they ever had football.
But he
Learned
said,
something else
He
tonight.
said, my roommate at Marquette played for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, and got traded to Dallas. I went to the Minnesota Vikings and got cut. He said he's playing for the Dallas Cowboys, and he lined up next to Ed Too Tall Jones in that game. I said, so he was like the left tackle? He said, yeah. I said, and number 64, Jerry Kramer, snookered him enough to let Bart Starr in. He said, you're exactly right. I said, well, that's great. But it's funny, again, how small this world really is.
Speaking about Super Bowls, I know we don't talk too much about pros. I guess the biggest talk around here's been the call, well, the non-call.
Terrible. Absolutely. You know, and Goodell is wanting to talk about how fast the game is and you know, that they're only human. But David, most college officials would have caught that one.
Well, you know what I said? You'll like what my answer was. Porter and Kennedy could have made that call.
Well, I said high school officials. I don't like to call them out.
Porter and Kennedy could have made that call.
But my point is,
they could have made. They'll be all right with me saying
that was probably one of the easiest calls that's ever been.
There's an official here. There's an official here. I mean, there's plenty of people around it, but we've apparently they've talking about now. Maybe the answer to it is putting the 8th official on the field. And I don't agree.
8th official wouldn't help that call.
He probably wouldn't have made it neither.
Wouldn't have
made it neither. I think it's a prime example. In the NFL, you know, they say they don't want to be the factor down the stretch. They swallowed a whistle.
They were the factor.
They should have made the call. It was the right. If they'd have made that call, I don't think there would be anything said about that.
And I think the other thing is that how many times do you see an offside official throw a flag downfield like that? Where was the offside official that didn't see that?
True. So there's a lot of blame there, but
that's terrible.
I have to give Drew Brees credit. He apparently had a press conference or something and did something and told the people in New Orleans, "Hey, let's move on.
Well,
let's be thinking about something. Let's be putting our mind to
Peyton's a lot better person than I, because that had to get me out of jail, I guess.
They would have. They would have probably had to. They'd have probably had a cup. I might have got ejected.
Oh, I'm saying
I'd have got some
I'm saying I would have. It's just good.
We'll see if they could swallow their whistle on that one too, because I think, I don't know.
What I would really like to know is the names of those two officials on that side.
Do you know them names? They've never been said.
That's my point.
Nobody knows.
I'd like to know who those two officials are, so that we can see if they retire at the end of this year.
Well, I don't think they retired. They might have got fired.
Well, but I'm saying they're going to give them the benefit. They're going to give them the benefit.
That might have been an excuse.
Now, what if it had been the lady, first female lady to do a playoff game?
She probably makes a call.
She probably makes the call, but my point is, if she doesn't make that call, they crucify her. These guys, like you said, you don't know their names.
No, we would have known. If it had been her, it would have been. It would have been magnified 10 times that. So.
And I thought she did it. She did a good job. She got rolled over there one time and jumped right back up, and
to give her credit though, she's come up the ranks. She's worked it all the way up from the Octopus to the high school to the college and come on up. So she's doing a pretty good job, or it seems to be that.
She was in the Oak Ridge Association.
Buchanan, if Ken Buchanan had her,
he'd rise to the top, wouldn't he?
Once again, Porter and Kennedy would have messed her up somehow. They did something that got her messed up.
It's just a shame, that you work so hard for so long, and you have a chance. To keep a drive going, and there you go.
Bang. I heard a caller say, "Well, next year." Well, here, and this guy today said, "Well, think about something. Eventually, New Orleans, Brees has got, what's he got? 1 year left, maybe 2 years, maybe at the max left that he can play at a high level, because you don't know. You don't know.
Look at.
But salary-wise, the salary cap's going to get him eventually, because Kamara and what's the running back from Alabama? He's in the backfield with him. There's two of them. You're not going to be able to afford both of them, because somebody's got to go. Because Kamara comes off the rookie
What are the odds of repeating? What are the odds of even getting back to that game?
It's so tough to get back to that game. Is what everybody's saying. Yeah. So when you do get a shot, you need to take advantage of that shot.
And this even takes that one step farther to show you that it's not even how well you play on the field that judges. You've got all kinds of external judgments coming in on you as the officials. I mean, but that was so blatant. And in fact, on one of the other calls, the defensive back said, I should have been called for a hit. I should have been.
Well, the guy that made the guy that was involved in the play that didn't get called said, I got up and I was looking for the flag.
Sure.
And he said, when I didn't see no flag, I thought, okay. And then there still wasn't no flag, and I thought, okay.
Well,
and so he knew he was going to get a flag.
It's one
but
of
here's
the.
what I don't want to see. I don't want no more daggone instant replay. I'm sick of instant. I tell you, I'm really sick of college basketball instant replay right now. I'm sick of it. Here's what. We're instant replaying everything now.
Well, no, we didn't replay that play.
Well, we didn't that one. I'm talking about basketball. We're instant replaying everything now. So you take me and you, because the third official's got to stay on the floor to watch both teams that are in the huddle that I don't have any idea what they're going to do being in the huddle.
Which is a free timeout.
Which is a free timeout. So me and you're going to go over and look at it. Then you're going to turn around and motion the guy over, and I'm going to step out and take his place, and he's going to come. So now we're going to look at it again, me and you. Why can't the first two officials make the call and us go with it, and the third official just take their word and us say, let's play ball instead of taking 20 minutes? And now we've got into all these flagrant fouls that if you jump up and come down the wrong way, it could be a flagrant. I mean, those are basketball moves. Flagrant.
The flagrant. Jump up?
Yeah, the other night, I think in the Lady Vol games, a basketball player went up, came down, but because she struck the girl a certain way, they called that one of them contact
now
fouls.
one of the things that I saw about 3 times this weekend was the hook.
The hook?
The new hook foul.
I understand that. They put a really big emphasis on it. But they missed.
But what if you get tangled up?
Who was I watching last night? Can't remember what team it was. I was watching. It might have been
Tennessee and South
might have been
Carolina.
Tennessee and South Carolina. I watched last night where there was a hook and foul.
They
didn't call it. They didn't call that. So are we enforcing it or are we not? That's my biggest complaint. It's not consistent. We need this instant replay stuff.
Well, I think
if it's to make it right, I'm good with it.
Well, but I
just
think
to drag it on.
I think the problem is what you can actually throw the flag and ask for a replay of, just like the play that wasn't called. See, that was more obvious than any play that they reviewed all day, because if you look at the number of plays that are reviewed, a lot of them are really, really close. I mean, you have to watch 4, 5, or 6 times before you see if the ball hit the ground or if they got their arm under it or if they have control of it. That one you didn't have to watch but one time.
You know, it's like me and you on Friday nights when we call a high school football game. And
we don't need replay.
And sometimes I get out. No, we don't. But sometimes I get out there on the ledge with it when we start looking back at replays, because you can see a lot of things on the replay that if you're moving that you really can't see. Right. So, but in the pros, they're taking 4 or 5 angles, and they're piecing all those angles together to give you one shot when you look at it. So you're getting the shot that in full-time speed you're probably not ever going to see.
Well, where I think the rule needs to be applied is, you call it a fumble on the field, okay? You call a play a fumble. Okay, and it says to overturn that, there has to be what?
There has to be evidence that it didn't happen, that you didn't fumble the ball.
It has to be proven.
Proven. Yeah, you have to prove it.
Okay, so you ought to be able to look at that one time, and if you can't do it, then it ought to be gone. It ought not to be 3 minutes. You ought not to have to do it. My point is, it's either there or it's not there.
Now, I didn't watch this game Sunday. I was told at Tennessee, the Lady Vols, they had three calls where they had to go to the monitor early. Took over 20-some minutes of time on those 3 calls. So I think we're running to the monitor a lot. I just don't understand why the third official's got to come in. He's got to look. Then they've all 3 got to get together. Then they've all 3 got to talk. Then they're going to go talk to the coaches. Now we're going to come over to TV, and we're even going to tell TV what we're doing.
What do you think about if the first look needs to be the head official and one of the others?
That's it.
And if the head official is in that first group, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
You explain it to the other official.
And let's go.
And let's go. You don't need that third, and I agree. If all you need is the head official who's in charge anyway.
It's crazy.
Let him make the call.
It's crazy. I just think we're spending way too much time. And you could say, well, let's do away with you could hear somebody saying, well, let's do away with the replays. Well, They, replays.
They've proven to be beneficial.
Right, they have, but now I think I think the officials are relying on them.
And they're relaxing to the point now where I'm going to make the call, and if it's not right, it's not right.
Right.
I'm not going to get penalized for the number of missed calls because of replay.
Exactly. That's why I think it's an overkill, and that's why I think we're doing it's an overkill, and that's just some pet.
Well, we've been on 16 minutes, and we've not disagreed yet, so you must be on your medication.
No medication, buddy.
But let's take a break real quick before we break our streak.
That'll
Be
happen
right
here in
back.
just a minute.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
With so many places available to shop for a new car, people are often left wondering how to choose. Why not come to the place that's been providing excellent customer satisfaction for over 45 years, Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman? We're the only dealership in Tennessee to have won the Subaru Love Promise Award for 7 years in a row. Read our online reviews and you'll see that Earl Duff Subaru is the right choice for all your automotive needs.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Well, we left talking about the Lady Vols, so let's just go back to the Lady Vols.
You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to start a GoFundMe page to fire Holly Ward. And let's see if we can raise enough money to where former doesn't have to worry about the money, and we get the money to fire. I'll donate the first dollar.
I'm gonna stick to my prediction that Holly will go out on her own. You're not gonna have to force her out.
When's that gonna be?
Go out on her
After
own.
the program's run down,
It's gonna either
completely
be,
in the ditch, all the way buried.
It depends on what happens the rest of this year. You know, I think she's probably very close to having lost the team, and if she has, then I think that's going to show, because there's going to be a lot of losses down the stretch, and if that happens, I think she would resign this year. If not, she gets another recruiting class in next year, then I think next year it's it.
We're struggling to beat teams that we used to just absolutely kill.
But they're getting better too.
I've not seen that.
Well, I'm just saying,
listen,
ladies basketball today is much.
No. You're saying in overall, but ladies overall. Okay,
sure,
I agree
sure,
with that.
yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Lady Vols are not getting any better.
No.
Here's what really got me was maybe a couple weeks ago. It was last week. Not this past Sunday, a week ago. Or it might have been during the week. I don't remember when it was. It was a game. It was on TV, and the caller person was an ex-Lady Vol. She was, I think it was on the SEC network, I think. And she makes a comment, Tennessee's got 3-point-some seconds to go to I think they needed 2 points to win the game, would have won the game. And they throw the ball in, and we wind up taking some crazy shot. And she said all I needed to know. You know, they acted like they didn't know what they were doing. So that's from a Lady Vaught. Now, she might have uh-oh'd it afterward and said, uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that. That's that's comments coming straight out of her mouth. They acted like they didn't know what they were doing, and coming out of a timeout, they acted like they didn't know what they're doing. So you could say, well, David, they're young. Well, we ought to be seeing some. We ought to be seeing some progress.
They're not freshmen any longer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We ought to be seeing some progress. Are we seeing any progress? I don't think we are.
No.
To lose 6 out of the last 7 games.
No, I think she's
we're
got
not
to be
even ranked right now.
I think she's careful. You know that
What happens if we don't make? What happens if they don't make the NCAA field? You think?
I think if she doesn't make the field, yeah, I think she resigns.
Right now, we're not. Right now, according to hoop bracketology, we're not in that right now.
I think she.
Well,
but you know, you got to be in one of the top 64 teams. You know that.
Right now, we're not.
Well, sure you are.
No, we're not.
Oh,
they
sure
said we're not.
Well, but I mean, oh come on, they're not 64.
I'm telling you, they said we're not one of those top 64 teams right now.
Well, then I say a humbug to that. That's not even a fair assessment.
I'm not the one assessing.
I mean,
I'm only repeating what
you get
I've
down, and we've talked about it years and years and years. You get down, and really there are probably about 15 really solid programs in the country right now.
We're not one of the 15.
But we're not 64 either.
Well, we might be if we don't get in. So okay, if they don't get in, then then they're not.
Well, that's because of that's going to be based on. Well, for us not to get in, we have to lose pretty much every game down the stretch, and not win a game in the SEC tournament.
I'll be shocked. We got some pretty tough games coming up.
And if that's the case,
I think we'll wind up being our record. We'll be under.
Be 500.
We won't be 500. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't have to play in the very first round of the SEC and get booted out early, and that'll be the end of it.
If that happens,
we're setting a lot of records this year, Ron, and they're the wrong records we're setting.
If that happens, then I can see her.
I look forward to the day that we have a new coach.
But I think again, you have to give her credit.
Give who credit?
For following in the footsteps of Pat Summitt for 11 years, and pretty much until the last 2 years, keeping the ship in good order. I mean, most people are going to last about 2 years following a legend like that, and they're
I'm going to be honest with you. I think she has lasted only a couple of years, and it's been going. The ship's had a big leak in it, and she's not been able to fix it. She's kept it afloat, but barely.
She's done a lot of recruiting. I think one of the things that possibly could be wrong is the fact that just like Pat, she brought too many former players back to coach, and I'm not sure that they really are that good of coaches.
Listen, it don't matter what kind of players you bring in, if you're not able to coach them.
That's just what I said.
If you're not able to coach
I
them,
think,
and that falls back on her.
That's right.
Then,
but I think they've relied on too many former players to stay close to the program and not be able to see from an arm's length what really needs to take place.
Look at Rick Barnes, and look at the guy that took his place at Texas. Tennessee's in a whole lot better position right now than Texas is. Rick Barnes, look at the recruits that Rick Barnes has. No highly recruited kids. And he's took those kids.
How many?
He's really
look at
really
Williams.
Made a statement.
Look at Williams. Williams had to have some help to even get a look to come to UT, right? Williams been Charlotte, North Carolina. Williams could not have gone to North Carolina. North Carolina State, Wake Forest. He couldn't have gone to any of those.
Williams mainly was offered by the Harvards and the Yales.
Well, I'm saying
he's really smart.
But,
he's a good.
But he could not have played for those hometown teams. The big
boys I bet they wish. I bet there's some of them wishing now.
Well, I guarantee you, Roy Williams, when he saw him, hand him a good spanking. He would like to.
He'd like to have that. But
Kansas, he couldn't have played at Kansas.
No,
he couldn't have played at Syracuse.
He
couldn't have played any of those.
They didn't recruit him, and so Rick Barnes is. I just think it comes back to coaching. I don't. You could say, well, boy, she had a good recruiting class. Yeah, it all looks good on paper, but we fall back to the Butch Jones theory about coaching. if you can't coach them up and make them any
Well-
better, if, you know, right now, this team will be no better in 4 years from now than it is today.
I thought last night's game at South Carolina probably was one of the smoothest games offensively that I've seen them play. I mean, you know, at 13:02 mark, they're 2 points ahead, and they turned it up another notch. Had some kids come off. Johnson come off the bench, done well. Turner has you know, when he comes in, it's like putting a booster on. I mean,
They were missing that earlier in the year, not having him.
not
when
having
he was
him.
injured.
And the thing that he does, when the team sort of gets on a roll, and he can come in and fire that first 3-pointer and just quieten the crowd and start something. Bone is developing into as good a point guard as you need, and that's what they'll tell you to get to the Final Four. You got to have guard play. And
Well,
Tennessee's got guard play.
I was listening to the radio coming down tonight, and they was talking. They was playing some interviews from Admiral Schofield, and he was talking about his players of the game. And he said, "Well, my two guys that I think should be the players of the game tonight is Walker and Johnson."
That's right.
He said, "Now Johnson has not played much in the last 6 games. He's not played any in the SEC, I don't think. If it is, it's very limited."
And during that stretch, when it
But
was
he's
close,
a freshman.
he came up with a rebound
and a big bucket.
and a bucket, an offensive rebound,
That's
and a
what,
free throw.
and that's what he said. And Walker came in at the right time, made a shot or made a couple things, got some big rebounds.
Right.
So he gave credit to two guys coming off the bench last night.
And that's
So I thought that was really, to me, that speaks team to me, that they're really playing as a team.
well.
right
And you
now.
take the play of the big guy from South Carolina. I mean, he's on fire. At one time, he had about 19 of their 25
Well,
points.
in the first part, I think he had 22 points in the first, and they asked him how'd they shut him down. They asked Schofield that. So what'd y'all do in the second half to get him? Because I only think he wound up at maybe 28 or 29, something like that. So he didn't score much in the second half, and they said, "Well, we just wasn't playing defense. We had to play defense."
But I mean, he's on fire. You know, little half hook shots down on the baseline, and if it's not for him, South Carolina. But
oh, it could have been a whole lot
but
worse.
that
It could
was-
have been 30.
that was as good of motion offensively as I've seen in a long time. I mean,
It was
that extra pass and they're in the lane. I
Yeah.
mean, they're shooting 3-footers.
Yeah, they are. They're making some good passes. They're not being self. But I told my wife this last night. But look, Rick Barnes was all over. I believe he was all over. He was all over Bones once, and he was on Grant Wynn. I like the way he coaches. He coaches hard. He expects him to play hard. But also, I paid attention to a little bit last night. He allows him to mouth a little bit, but to a certain extent, when he barks, it's yes, sir. You can hear him. You
Well-
can see him say it. So I think we got one of the best basketball. And I've said this. I said it a
I
couple
read.
weeks ago with you. I think we got one of the best
I
basketball
think-
coaches we've had since Don DeVoe.
I think
Maybe.
you're right. I read an article not long ago, and he was talking about his first SEC tournament in Nashville. Got put out. And he said, on the bus ride home, I'm thinking, this doesn't sound like a bus load of guys that just lost a first-round SEC tournament game. He said, so I thought all the way home, the culture needs to change. So he said, we stopped the bus in the parking lot, and I said, guys, who's the most physical team in the SEC? And they all mentioned the name, but nobody said us. And he said, that's going to change tomorrow. Now, I know on the way home you were excited about going on spring break, but he said, tomorrow you'll report to the trainer's office. And he said, for 3 weeks, we didn't touch a basketball. We ran stadiums. We ran up the bank at G10 parking lot. We didn't touch a basketball. And he said, now, and last night, South Carolina coach said exactly that. They out-physical us. He said, and that came from that first SEC loss in the tournament.
You know, we say this all the time. It's hard to stop. Once you get on a losing streak, you get in that losing mode, it's hard to get out of the losing mode. It takes a while to get out of that losing. You think every night it becomes like a normal thing that you're supposed to lose.
Well,
I think we have a good basketball coach. But
tough.
I liked what Schofield said about the two guys coming off the bench. There's no doubt in my mind the Johnson kid's probably going to be a good player when he gets a little meat on him, gets
Well, that was
muscled
a huge
up.
rebound last night. Offensive rebound.
He did some things, seen some of it, but you know Tennessee's they got a good basketball team, right? They're big. They got a big. I'm gonna say I'd like to go to this, but I've been up there, so I wouldn't want to take the abuse you'd have to take at Rump Arena. But when Tennessee goes up to Kentucky here in a couple of weeks to play the Cats, that'll be a rocking place, man.
Well, you know, I was fortunate.
That'll be that might be their toughest game on the schedule coming up in the near future.
I've been to Rupp twice. The first time we went up when Bernard King was playing, got burnt with a cigarette. He told him, I'll never lose to Kentucky again, and he didn't. And I was sitting on the rafters. We could only smell the cigarette. We couldn't see the. And my last visit, I was on the floor. I sat on the baseline on the floor, and all we could see were Tennessee fans behind the bench and up in my old seat in the bleachers. And you're exactly right. That will be the hottest ticket in Rupp this year. Kansas was a big one, but this one will be much, much bigger than the Kansas game was up there.
Ain't no telling what ticket it costs for that game.
But you let me know how many you need.
Yeah.
But
I'm not paying the price for it.
I mean, the enthusiasm at Thompson Bowling now. I mean, it's football frenzy.
Man, I told you
on the
the day
basketball
I told you last time you denied it. Tennessee's becoming a basketball school. We're not going to be a football
Well,
school.
we're a
no
football
more.
school, but
No,
I'm
we're a
just saying
basketball school.
it's becoming the place to be. For instance, a $30 ticket down on the floor, $95 for Kansas game. I mean for West Virginia game. That's and so you compare that triple a basketball ticket. Of course, football tickets are more to begin with, and you can triple those for certain games. But this was just a Saturday afternoon game against a team with a losing record that was a good basketball program. Though Huggins and his former days, but to get $90 for a basketball ticket is pretty strong.
Big bucks, ain't it?
Pretty strong.
Selling a lot of popcorn and hot dogs over there.
But you know, and so you got you got a big, you got another 2 big games coming up. You're on the road Saturday, and then you're back home Tuesday night with Missouri and Conzo coming back. That'll be a fun game.
That should be a good game.
You know, and I think the biggest obstacle there is him trying to slow the game down. So you gotta.
He wants to keep it in the 60s. He don't want to play in the 80s and 90s.
So let's talk a little high school basketball now. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're talking about district tournaments coming up pretty soon and seeding for that tournament. But I think Oak Ridge is probably the strongest team, as they usually are on the boys' side.
I think they've wrapped up the title on the boys' side. I don't think the girls have wrapped it up yet. They've still got to play Campbell County again, which Campbell County beat them earlier in the year. So I think that'll come down to that game. That might be coming up here this week or within the next week that Campbell County will be coming here to play. That girls' game will probably decide who the district champ is or the region.
Other than that, I think most of our district around here are there's really not a dominant team.
Me and E.T. was talking last week. He had done a little research there, and there were some high school teams. As of last week, now I don't know what's happened since then, Maryville girls were undefeated. They hadn't lost a game. I think they were 18-0. There was a couple other teams over there, girl-wise, that had some pretty good records. So just looking at that part, Campbell County being one of them, then being Oak Ridge.
I guess Oak Ridge and Campbell County then are the 2 premier girls programs in our area.
In our area right here, right now, yes, that's true. They are. So Oak Ridge being the boys' team, even though Clinton had last Friday night had a chance to get Oak Ridge, and they wound up losing by 7, but led most of that whole game. They said I didn't go or get to see it, but that's what they told me. So, Oak Ridge, Greens had a pretty good run. You wonder when that run's going to be over with, because it'll cycle out eventually. There'll be somebody.
That's a pretty good run.
Well, it is. No, we're not taking nothing away from it. It's a good run. He's had a good run, but that's what's amazing about it, to lose what he lost from last year's team to do it again this year. So hats off to him for being able to pull that out.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come right back and be in the locker room right after this.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
With so many places available to shop for a new car, people are often left wondering how to choose. Why not come to the place that's been providing excellent customer satisfaction for over 45 years, Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman? We're the only dealership in Tennessee to have won the Subaru Love Promise Award for 7 years in a row. Read our online reviews and you'll see that Earl Duff Subaru is the right choice for all your automotive needs.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Speaking about high school sports, did you read the editorial that Childers put out?
Told fans, cool it.
What'd you think?
I mean, I always say the officials are too sensitive. You know, I've never been a basketball official, never been a football official either. Just to clarify that.
Have you been a baseball?
I've done some softball stuff, but I've never I've done one high school game my whole life. But anyway, I thought you sort of supposed to try to block that out. I don't know, is that maybe it's not possible? Maybe I'm dreaming here.
No, I don't think you're dreaming. I think there's a fine line there. I think first of all, when we were playing, you had some loud fans, but now you have some obnoxious fans. You have fans now calling you names.
Yeah, I think you can take fans, it. You can take it too far.
You have fans that to come out and holler and say, hey, you missed a call, or I can't believe you made that call, or most officials, or can't you see that outside corner, Barry? Is there something wrong with you? Can't you see that? But it's the guy standing over there every pitch or every whistle. That has something, or some of the calls that we've seen in football, you should be hollered. You should have the right to holler.
I guess I'm.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess I'm lucky they ain't throw me out of the press.
But the thing is, there's a way to do that. There's a way to do that, and I think now you have most officials, just like his article said, most officials are probably under 3 years experience. So you've been thrown in. You didn't get to do many middle school games, so you've been thrown in,
And see, that's another thing that you hear a lot of people say, why are we getting these young officials at the middle school level? You know, we shouldn't be their training ground.
Where do you want them to train?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta start somewhere. So, I don't know. They've got a hard job. They definitely don't get paid enough money. But then when in return, you can think about some of these smaller schools. If you raise the money up, you know, if I was going to call basketball, I would just try to hook up with the small college stuff and call one game and make as much as one game that I make for calling two.
But you can't get to the college level without coming up through the high school.
You got to go through the high school level.
That's the training ground.
You got to go through the high school level and get that training.
And it's people just like your brother that are supervising these guys that really allow them to move to the next level. You're not going to move to the next level till Steve Queener says you're ready to move to the next level as a supervisor of high school officials. And that's the way it should be.
Well, because another supervisor is going to call and say, hey, we're looking at X, Y, Z.
Sure.
What do you think? And he's going to probably yay, nay, or maybe or whatever.
If you had the right number of officials, that should be the same thing from middle school to high school. You stay in middle school for 5 years if you have to before somebody says you're ready. Well, now you get your stripes. You go do 2 or 3 middle school games, and they say we need you Thursday night up in Timbuktu to do a ball game, a high school game. So you don't have that training level. It's by necessity. Same thing in baseball.
I don't think I'm wrong about what I'm fixing to say. I don't even think they take a test no more to be a basketball official.
To be a basketball official?
I think they cut it out.
Well, I mean, it's open book in baseball and softball.
So I don't even think they test.
But we've done ball games in the last 2 years with one official. That's how bad it's getting. But to say that, we'll put a little plug in for officials. If you were a young man and you were going to college even, and you wanted a part-time job, you can make more money officiating than you can working at a fast food place till 11, 12 o'clock at night.
I agree with that.
And
I just told you about somebody. I won't mention what it was or the amount, but
I
told you what he made in 3 days. Some kids work 2 weeks and won't make that in 3 days.
And you
made in 3 days.
And you can go as far as you want. And now, depending on what sport it is, if it's soccer, Gatlinburg's got soccer tournaments going almost all year long. If it's volleyball, Gatlinburg's got volleyball tournaments going all year long. If it's softball, almost all year. If it's baseball, go up to Ripken and you can make it up to $1,000 a week. There's money there if you want to.
You got to want to do it
right. And plus, an 18 or 19-year-old now that gets in it and really does it right. I mean, you can be in junior college in no time. You know, and by the time you're 30 or 32, you can. Some of those guys are going to move on to college if you got the right job where you can get off and do that. So it's a good gig.
And you can make some money.
You gotta be able to let folks holler at you a little bit. Now, do you have to take abuse? No, and that's why a lot of the officials now, you know, are relying on security to just say, hey, you need to get this guy out of here. This game's fixing to be called.
Yep.
That's all you have to say.
They do it quite frequently. They do it quite frequently in basketball.
That's all you have to say. Is, you know, if you don't get him out of here, this game is over.
You're right. I agree with you. It is a tough job.
Or they put the head coach. Coach, you know, one more. You can go get him removed, or the next one is a technical on you, and then another technical on you, and you can walk out to the car with him because you're both going to be gone.
You're both going to be gone. It's tough.
So,
it's tough.
It is.
It's tough being a coach, and it's tough being an official. The tough part about being the coach is every parent thinks their kid's an all-star. And I heard talking about Frank Martin last night. There's a tape of him talking about summer league or winter league basketballs and this participation, everybody getting a trophy and being
worst
coached.
Worst thing possible.
He wears it out.
He wears it out. Possible.
He wears it out talking about how bad it is.
What else? Where else do you get? You know, a trophy for not winning.
What is it? The Washington kid from Kentucky and another kid from Kansas which their mothers were basketball players. Their mothers coached them all the way through till towards the end. I don't remember what grade they actually got to, but their mothers were their coach. Now, their mothers played basketball, played D1 basketball, but I think the Washington kid said about his mother said, well, I had to quit because he didn't want to play for me no more. So, you coach your kids, and I don't know. It just, I don't think everybody, I don't think, nobody likes to lose, but I think you got to go through that period of what it feels like to lose. You got to learn some lessons from losing in order to make yourself better. I mean, it comes at a young age, but you start learning, and you learn how to correct those, because nobody likes to lose. But you got to learn how to lose, how to accept it, and how to cope with it, and how to get yourself back.
If you get rewarded for not winning, what happens when you win?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So cut the trophies out.
I think
save some money.
Save
some money.
I have a couple mamas that still won't speak to me over a city league basketball team, saying we finished third. They wanted to know when the pizza party for the trophies. I said, I don't care about the pizza party, but there ain't gonna be no trophies. I said, what do you mean? I said, what did we win? What do you want me to put on there?
Third place.
Had a good time?
Yeah, that's what they want.
I said, I don't do that.
When I was coming up, it's like everybody said, well, we practiced all year and everybody showed up, everybody did this. Well, listen, when I was coming up, if you didn't go to practice, you didn't play.
Well, and
you sat on the bench.
And that's a good thing. If everybody had a good time and everybody showed up, you learned something, that's a good season. You just don't get a trophy for it.
Yeah, but people now think for kids miss, they're supposed to play. If you don't practice, you don't play. You gotta. And now they've got the rules made where you've got to play them now. I mean, you've got to give them a bat. You got to give them You got to give them a bat if it's baseball. And let them play an inning in the field. So, I don't know.
I don't either. But I thought Childress put a nice letter out.
It was a good letter. Put them cool.
I think.
Have you noticed how much trouble, though, if you listen to some of these officials, how much trouble they're having getting people to do these games?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how many. Ken Buchanan was probably short this year, but and I'm sure what I'm fixing to say, I'm not saying he wouldn't repeat, I don't think. They have trouble getting people to come in and do football. I know my brother and them, they have trouble with it, to getting people to come in to do basketball.
Well, just last year, didn't we have some Thursday night football games because there's not enough officials?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So high school, around the area, this could be a year when we have a lot of upsets in the district tournaments and stuff because of the fact that you don't have those dominant teams anymore, and a team that gets hot this time of year could sort of propel themselves into a nice region seed. And you get to the region, you get a good seed. Who knows? Crazy bounce, crazy call, or lack of a call.
Why not Murfreesboro?
You could be in a sub-state game.
You could be in a sub-state game if you're at home, and your chances are really good playing at home. And right now is when you won't be playing your best basketball. Believe it or not, right now you don't want to lose right from this February through this next 3 or 4 weeks. You do not want to lose a game. You want to win. You want to be winning. You want to be playing. You want to be peaking right now for March and be ready to go. Right now is a crucial. You should have really been playing good basketball from January.
Yeah.
You should be over. There might be a loss in January. I tell people this all the time. I remember coming home every night and marking on the schedule whether it's a win or loss for Fulton. And there's many nights I can look at those and go back and tell you, here's 16 in a row won, 15 in a row won, 17 in a row won. You start getting on rolls like that, you know everybody's playing. You know everything's the wheels grease good.
Good. Well, let's take another break here at the final segment. We'll be right back.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
With so many places available to shop for a new car, people are often left wondering how to choose. Why not come to the place that's been providing excellent customer satisfaction for over 45 years, Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman? We're the only dealership in Tennessee to have won the Subaru Love Promise Award for 7 years in a row. Read our online reviews and you'll see that Earl Duff Subaru is the right choice for all your automotive needs.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best soil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Reno's. We've watched that young man grow up from just a toddler. Does that mean we're getting old or what?
Yeah, it does mean we're getting old, buddy. It does.
Will, yeah. Will was just a toddler. And,
I remember when he came up here with the middle school team.
That's what I'm saying.
And in high school.
We've been here a long time.
We've been here a long time. It might be time to get some people to take
Well,
care of
we've been here so long that his daddy retired.
His daddy retired, didn't he? Maybe that's what we ought to do is retire.
So that just shows you how long it is. You know, and I don't guess. Yeah, we had one show after the championship game, didn't we? Because we talked about T. Higgins and them on that thing.
We did.
Yeah, what a good deal. Okay, who you like in the Super Bowl? Well, I know who you like. You like Brady because you think
he is the best quarterback.
He's got a chance to win 6. Nobody's done it before.
I was really pulling for the Saints and wanted the Saints or the Seahawks, either one. I'd have been happy with either one of them. But I'm going to probably just go with L.A. just because I don't want to see Brady win another one. Yeah. You know, if he gets a 6th one, then there's no doubt in my mind Peyton Manning will just be a blip on the radar because he will be the best quarterback ever to play in the National Football League.
Based on Super Bowl rings, he sure will.
That's exactly right.
He sure will.
So maybe I need to change my mind and say I hope the New England Patriots win by 60 Sunday.
I hope the Patriots win. I'd like.
You were going to pull for Brady,
yeah,
so he'll be better than Peyton Manning.
Well, no, I didn't. He won't be
why? He's already better than Peyton Manning, so they don't have to win. So I'm going to take the L.A. Rams.
No, it won't be.
Upset, baby.
He won't be better.
He's already better with 5.
No rings.
5 rings on him. That's what they base it on, right there.
But
5.
rings do
Put them
not,
on each finger. He gets another. He's got to double up on some.
No, he won't get another one. He'll be done.
You'll see.
He'll be done.
But I'm rooting for the Rams.
But
I sort of like the way the Rams play a little bit.
Oh, the Rams have a great, youngest coach. Out there.
I know we ain't got much time left, and I just flipped through this Sunday just a little bit. When did the Pro Bowl become tag football? Did you see that? That was a joke, man.
2 years ago.
That's a joke.
When they moved it from Hawaii to
that's absolutely a joke.
Oh yeah.
Did they give those tickets away free? And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking that question. I'm surprised you didn't get some and try to give them to us to go because they're free. They must have been free.
Well, that's why I was in it. That's why I was in Florida.
Oh, you got some free tickets.
Oh, no,
because
free.
Surely
Don't start that rumor.
people don't pay for
Don't
those
start
tickets.
that rumor. It's not
well,
free.
Well, it's true too. If
They're not free.
Any people knows you. I can run into some people everywhere.
But
How you put up with Barry?
They thought it was a heck of a deal at $50 a pop.
Let me tell you.
To a Pro Bowl game. They thought it was a super deal.
Let me tell you a good story. You'll laugh about this because it's about you. Me and my wife were going to Food City a couple weeks ago. It's on I believe it's on I can't remember if it's a Saturday or Sunday. We were going to Food City. Here comes this guy. I recognize the guy as he's coming, and as he walks by me, he said, "Hey, half a hamburger, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing pretty good." My wife asked me, "What did he call you?" I said, "Half a hamburger." She said, "Well, what's that mean?" I said, "He's an Oliver Springs guy and sits down in the front of the press box because Barry won't." I told him one year Barry wouldn't buy me nothing but a half a hamburger. He's called me the half a hamburger guy. He passed me half a hamburger, so people knows you that you're tight. They were free.
What he was really trying to get across to your wife was it was half a brain.
Yeah, well, half a brain's correct too. Half a brain's correct too. I've not got but a half a brain.
If he could see my credit card and show you, where you've been, I guess it's not long till you're going back to Daytona, right?
Here in a couple weeks, man.
Yeah.
We're going to do it one more year at least.
Well,
good Lord willing,
I
I
hope you get the same deal on tickets that I got down there. But I wish you wouldn't talk about the Pro Bowl like you did, because that's as good of an investment as I've made.
I heard that. Well, they were giving tickets way out back somewhere, so you call radio station WECO. You could have won a pair of tickets from ECO, I think.
I don't want to win them. I want to sell them.
Oh, well, you win them and then sell them.
But I mean, there were more selfies made by guys playing. I think at one time I saw the middle linebacker taking a selfie.
Taking a selfie.
I mean, it's crazy. And did you see who was playing defense in the game?
Yeah,
Kamara.
And running back. What's his name? Running back.
Kamara's on a blitz.
Playing defensive end.
And I rerun it to see it. Wait a minute.
What's that Barkley guy? Yeah. They both played on defense.
Said, wait a minute.
See,
Kamara's on the other side.
I heard a good thing. They change it to 7-on-7. 7-on-7. Like you have in passing leagues, make it a little bit more interesting. And then maybe at different times have the linemen and people like that you're not involved anymore. They do some contest or something. Actually, put some. I don't know. You're trying to. But what it is right now.
Contest before the game.
What it is right now, it's a joke.
Oh, it is.
So. It is. I don't know who pays the money for them to go.
Well,
they need to cut it out.
TV. They don't have to pay. I mean, the
TV
deal because that's for their retirement.
I guess. Cut it out.
All right. Stay warm, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you back here next week. Good night.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.